We welcome you to the latest edition of The Beat. From 12th Man Studios, I'm Will Johnson, and we are going to begin by putting the spotlight on men's basketball. Aggie guard Chris Collins came to Texas A&M as a walk-on from Friendswood, Texas. He only played in 3 games as a freshman and redshirted last year, but now he has responded to a much greater role.
I'm Chris Collins, number 12. I'm a shooting guard and I'm a sophomore.
For those who don't know, I'm from Friendswood, Texas. It's southeast Houston, in between Houston and Galveston.
It was no coincidence Chris grew up loving the game of basketball. His father, Bill, played in college at Central Michigan.
That definitely had a big influence on me. Just growing up, basketball was always in my hands.
We would watch it on television. We'd go to games and watch games together, and he was always around basketball.
That was just my dream from a really young age, to play at the Division I level, just like my dad.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Hopefully owning my own business and making a good amount of money.
He got some accolades, but he didn't get a lot of the statewide recognition. And so he was looking at smaller schools.
Got recruited, a lot of D3 schools, a couple D2 schools, and then about 3 Division I schools were recruiting me.
But Coach Kennedy granted us an interview, and when we ended up coming to A&M, Chris walked in here and said, "This is where I want to go to school."
Well, anytime we bring in a walk-on, the first thing we want is character. And we want guys who we know are going to do the right things when they're on the floor and off the floor. And Chris is a great kid. I mean, he's unselfish. He has all the traits of what an Aggie's all about. We knew he was going to be a good kid. We knew he was a good student. We knew all those things about him. We didn't know what kind of player he was going to be.
He was just a dude that worked. I knew he worked hard, but he's smaller than some of the guys, and last year, it would have been tough for him to play. But he's very consistent in what he does, and he's the same person every day.
The varsity level is a lot more fast-paced and more pressure on the ball, and it's harder to get open shots.
Kind of talk about what it was like to kind of be a part of the season you guys had last year.
It was really cool. I learned a lot from that team, just the way they carried themselves. They came to work every day, no matter what day it was, no matter what the situation was. They came and they gave 110% every day. And they were great role models for me, just showing me the way that you have to compete at this level and you have to do it every day if you want to be good.
Every other year when we have an opportunity and we have a scholarship, we're going to give it to Chris. Chris has earned a scholarship in the last.
Did you know that was happening? You didn't know? Hey, give me a hug, man. My boy just got a scholarship. This dude works so hard, man. Ooh, my dude be in the gym all the time. You really did earn it, bro.
I was grateful when the opportunity presented itself, and it was definitely a reward for the past 2 years I've been working for.
I think I need to get better at my help defense and quick releasing on my shots so I can get more open shots. And as a team, I just think we need to all play together every game.
Him being asked to play the point guard position, point guards got to talk. Point guards got to know everything the coaches know. And, that's just a big role for us, especially this year, needing a point guard.
When you get thrown into a starting lineup against Kentucky in front of 24,000 people on a national television audience, and you didn't play the game before, and you said, wow. But he handled it well, and he went up against probably the 2 best guards in the country.
But, every day I know he's working. Like I said, he's improved his communication so much, but you can always take steps forward in what you do, and I know he's going to because he works at it every single day. And we talk every day about what we need to do as a team, and those are just the little things that just show me like he really wants to grow on the court.
Everybody wants a guy like Chris Collins on their team. He is a team guy. And then you want him because he's a good player. He can pass, he can shoot, and he's really got better at handling the ball, and he's been a really good player for us.
Coming in, I was at the time a little upset that my original recruiting didn't go the way I expected it to, but getting this opportunity has been more than amazing for me, and I've learned so much more than I ever could have somewhere else. Just being surrounded by these players, this coaching staff that I'm learning constantly, and it's been a great experience.
The Beat, brought to you by ASCO, your place for case construction equipment in Texas.
We welcome you back this weekend at the softball complex. 4 games on tap for A&M. They're going to host the Aggie Classic, and they will bring in Lamar, Ohio State, and Central Michigan for it. Best thing is, it starts the 2017 season. And we have our head coach, Joe Evans, in studio with us right now to talk about first pitch. And Joe, I remember talking to you about this team about a month ago before you started preseason camp, and I know coaches kind of want to slow time down.
Yeah.
You want to figure out your team before you get to that first pitch. Well, you're out of time, Coach. Here it is. The season begins.
Ready or not, here we go. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Our team just keeps getting better, and for the players, they're ready to go. The second they get back to campus, they think the season should start right then. And as a coach, I'm thinking, no, we need some time. And we've had great practices and really have our kids running on all cylinders, so I'm excited about it.
When I think about you offensively, names come to mind like Torrey Vidalis with power, Keely Milligan with speed. Is it a good balance of that with your offensive lineup you'll put out?
It's a really good balance. We've added even some more speed into our lineup, and then you got Ashley Walters with power and Kristen Koyas, and a new face for us, Sarah Hudak, who's got some power, and Kelby Fortenberry speed. And it's really, I think, probably the most balanced offense we've had in a long time.
Pitching, you always have to be solid in the circle. How have you sorted through that in preseason camp, and will you continue to kind of sort it out as you go through the early portions of the season?
Yeah, we think we know where we are, but once the season starts, kind of all bets are off, and you kind of see who's actually executing and producing. But I like our staff. It's the best staff we've had in a long, long time. We've got 4 pitchers who are all different from each other, which is great. They all bring different strengths to the table, and we want to be a staff. We want to work as a staff. We don't want to be in a set rotation where somebody starts one day, next one starts the next day. We want to be able to mix it up, not have to have our pitchers go 7 innings, but have somebody coming in middle and closing and just giving us a good balanced attack.
Mm-hmm. This will be the final season in the Aggie softball complex. You have to be excited about your new facility coming online, and like you've mentioned in the past, it's probably long overdue because you've been in the softball complex for quite some time.
It's been a while.
But you go through this year, do you feel maybe a little nostalgia coming on as it's the last time?
Yeah, it's been good to us, The Aggie field has been good to us, and we always brag that we have the best field of anybody in the country with Craig Potts and his crew out there doing what they do. And so we always know we're going to have the best surface, we're going to have the best grass, we're going to have a great ball field, and I'm excited that we're going to have a great ballpark here in another year. But this has been home to us since 1994 for me, for 21 years. So it's been fun playing there, and our fans have been great to come out and support us there. So we want to send this stadium off with a great farewell and a big bang, hosting regionals and super regionals.
All right, well, we're excited. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll obviously talk to you more throughout the season.
All right, thanks a lot.
Joe Evans, our head softball coach. They begin their year on Friday at 5:15. That's first pitch against Lamar on opening day. Welcome back. Last week, Texas A&M women's basketball picked up 2 quality victories, beating Florida by 8 and Auburn by 5. The Aggies are now 17-6 on the year, 7-3 in the SEC, and we talked to one of their own in Kyla Hillsman. Kyla, I want to start at the beginning with you. You're a Chicago, Illinois native. What essentially put Texas A&M on your radar as far as where you wanted to continue your basketball career?
Well, my whole recruiting process was sort of a mess. I didn't really know. My high school coach kind of kept all of that away from me so I could focus just on basketball. But when it was time for me to start being recruited, it was just a swarm of coaches and schools calling and texting me all the time, and it was so overwhelming. And Texas A&M jumped on that train early. And the first coach I met, I think I talked on the phone with, was Coach Bond. And then I went to Coach Blair and then Coach Starkey. And right now my best relationship is with Coach Bond. Between Texas A&M and Ohio State, those are my top two choices in DePaul. Coach Bond really, she made me feel like if I came here, it would be just another home and another family environment. And also Coach Starkey played a huge role in my recruitment. He wrote me this about 8-page letter saying like what he could do with me and what he saw for my future, and I just thought that was huge. No other school had written me an 8-page paper, and I just thought that was a really big deal to me. And when I actually came on my visit, they think I liked it because I was tired all the time, but I really did like it. I loved it here, and they've been far beyond what I expected.
Mm-hmm. Coach Blair at times this year has called you maybe the most improved player in the Southeastern Conference. What are the keys to bettering your game this year?
It's definitely summer workouts and conditioning. Coach Starkey really made it a point of emphasis for me to make sure I work on finishing strong and made sure that Jim was on my case in conditioning because he predicted the future that I'll have to play a lot of minutes. So I think our strength and conditioning coach did a great job making sure I pushed myself during conditioning, even when I wanted to stop. My body felt like it couldn't go anymore. She always found that other gear in me to push me to keep going.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that's out there for the Aggies is if you can close strong enough, you can host the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament right here in College Station. Mm-hmm. And you guys are playing really well, and you've got that opportunity. What would it mean to you to start the NCAA tournament right here in Aggie Land?
It would be huge for me. We did it last year, but we obviously didn't get to where we wanted to go. So I feel like this year it will be just another opportunity for us to do it the right way. Instead of losing in the second round, we go even further and even further than we expected. I feel like we're proving a lot of the haters wrong in the SEC. So I really just want to continue that. And if we host here, I think that will give us a huge opportunity to do that.
All right. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks
so much for the time.
Thanks.
That is Kyla Hillsman with our Aggie women's basketball team. Thursday night, they host the Alabama Crimson Tide.
The Beat, brought to you by Memorial Hermann, official sports medicine partner of Texas A&M Athletics.
We welcome you back to The Beat. Being an athlete at Texas A&M University is certainly time-consuming. The Aggies are usually up early and off to class or workouts throughout the day. It's filled with study halls and practices. But they are never too busy to take a moment to help others. At the center of Texas A&M are its core values. Those who attend this school strive for excellence and look to become leaders.
So there's been a lot of opportunities that we have to give back to our community. In the fall semester, we did Aggies Can, which raised money and food for the Brazos County food banks.
One community service opportunity that I've had is to go visit hospitals with the whole soccer team, and it was awesome to go to the different levels of the hospital and see all the kids, and they were so excited just to have us there to play with them.
Yeah, we've had chances to go out to Mission of Hope. Man, that's the best thing in the world, because those kids, their faces light up when they see us. We do something for them. It may not be that big to us, but to them, it means the world.
Most recently, the SAAC participated in a service project called Give Hope, Give a Hand. The athletes worked in teams to build medical-grade prosthetic hands that are sent to amputees in over 75 developing countries.
I'm a biomedical engineer, so I know that building a prosthetic hand is quite a process. So I was surprised that they were getting all these student athletes be able to help out in this big of a way.
We got a photo of a child or man who has been already fitted for a hand and whose life has already been changed. So before we even started, we kind of knew what we were working towards and whose life we were going to change.
They just brought out this kit that had step by step how to do it basically, and we worked together to figure it out. It was a bunch of just putting screws together, building anything else, and it was so simple. But knowing how big of an impact having a prosthetic hand's gonna have for a child who doesn't have a hand, for something we take so for granted, is an amazing feeling.
And then we had to wear a sleeve that mimicked what they would be dealing with after they got fitted for the hand. So we had on our minds what they had to deal with for their whole life.
We had a little bit of everything. We had some screwdrivers, like a little twisty thing. Man, it was, I don't know, if you look at it, it looked crazy. Like there's no way it's gonna build a hand.
Once you see the completed product, from taking it from all these bolts that were just laying down side by side and putting them to something that's gonna function for a human life is amazing.
These Aggies also had the chance to decorate the hand cases.
I was part of the decorating the bag part because I thought that that would be the best way to make a kid smile. Self-service is something everyone should be a part of, especially athletes at A&M. We are so fortunate here. We have great opportunities. So many people do so much for us that it's really not that hard to spend a little bit of time every now and then giving back to our community.
The hands the student athletes made are a part of a much bigger picture. In 2016, the first SAAC group went on a mission trip to Haiti. What has now become a tradition, the Aggies hope that on their return there in late spring, they can see personally how the prosthetic hands are helping Haiti natives.
I think the trip to Haiti that we're going on this summer and that people went on last year is definitely becoming a tradition at Texas A&M. Doing selfless service at Texas A&M as an athlete is a huge, not only opportunity, but blessing, because we're able to go out there and be an ambassador for the university and really represent the name.
I think here in the United States, we're so privileged to not see maybe the conditions that they have down there, and I think being a disabled in a country like Haiti would be a lot harder than maybe here. And so I think being able to see firsthand what they go through and then actually be able to see their face when you give them the hand and make a difference, and I think that would just be an experience like no other.
When I think of, those receiving the hands, it really lights up my heart.
Through the core value of selfless service, the Aggies are not only lending a hand to those in need, but lending a smile and a life-changing tool to the world's future. Student athletes at Texas A&M University putting forth a tremendous effort on and off the field. Back in a moment to close out the beat. It is almost time to close out this edition of The Beat from 12th Man Studios in the south end zone of Kyle Field, but we can't get out of here until we tell you about Texas A&M men's and women's swimming and diving. Both teams next week are off to the SEC Championships at the Jones Aquatic Center in Knoxville, Tennessee. It starts on Tuesday, runs all the way through Saturday, 14th through the 18th, a 5-day meet for the conference crown. Last year, the women claimed the SEC Championship in the pool, so they hit Knoxville trying to defend their title. Good luck to both the men and women in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're back with another edition of The Beat from 12th Man Studios next week.